Have you ever felt like you're running out of time? Like everything must happen right now, or else it's all over? Do you sometimes ask yourself, why is nothing working, even when I try so hard? Have you ever tried to force life to move faster, only to feel more lost, more anxious, more empty? Imagine standing in front of a door that won't open no matter how much you push it. You're sweating, panicking, thinking it must open now. But the moment you step back and take a breath, you notice the sign, pull, don't push. That's what desperation does. It blinds you. Readiness, on the other hand, teaches you to pause, observe, and act with wisdom. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, the place where ancient Buddhist teachings meet real-life clarity. Here, we go beyond motivation. We bring truth that transforms. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more minds and hearts who need peace and guidance. In this journey, we'll explore the quiet power of not rushing, of being deeply ready instead of desperately chasing. Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering is tanha, craving. The more we chase, the more we suffer. But readiness isn't passive. It's a state of wise attention. When you're ready, you see clearly. You move at the right time, and you stop trying to control everything. The Buddha didn't run after answers. He sat. He observed. He prepared his mind to see what others could not. And in that stillness, he awakened. This is your call to stop forcing life, to obey your clock. Be calm. Be ready. The rest will come. Stay with us through this series. What's coming next might shift your entire way of living. The Buddhist lens, seeing preparation as a path to liberation. Listen closely, dear one. The world tells you to be fast. Hurry, rush, get it done now. But the teachings of the Buddha say something very different. Walk slowly with awareness. Don't be desperate. Be ready. When you are desperate, your heart is noisy. Your mind shakes like a leaf in the wind. You cannot see clearly. And when you can't see clearly, every step becomes a gamble. You step into places not meant for you. You speak too quickly. You choose too soon. And then you suffer. But when you are ready, truly ready, your eyes are open. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg life for answers. The answers begin to appear by themselves. This is the beauty of Buddhist understanding. We're not taught to panic when life feels slow. We're not told to grab tightly when things feel far away. We are shown the middle path, the calm, steady walk of someone who trusts the rhythm of a universe, who believes that being prepared is more powerful than being in a hurry. Let me tell you a story. There was once a monk who lived on the edge of a forest. Every morning, he would rise before the sun, sweep the path to the monastery, boil water for tea, and prepare one small bowl of food. He did this every day without complaint, without expectation. People asked him, "Why do you keep doing this? You're not gaining anything. You're just preparing again and again." And he replied, "When the guest arrives, the room is already clean. When the hunger comes, the bowl is already full. When the time is right, I will not need to run. I will be ready." This is the power of silent preparation. You may feel like nothing is happening. You may feel invisible. But like seeds under the soil, readiness grows quietly. It's not flashy. It doesn't shout. But when the time comes, it blooms stronger than anything built in haste. You don't need to scream for the world to hear you. You don't need to prove your worth through desperation. Instead, see through the Buddhist lens, patience, practice, presence. These three together make the foundation of readiness. Now ask yourself, are you living like someone preparing for peace or someone begging for change? Desperation is not bad. It just shows us where we are attached. We want something so badly that we forget to breathe. We hold on too tight, and that tightness creates suffering. In Buddhism, we call this clinging. The more you cling, the more pain you feel. Let's say you are thirsty. You run to the river, cup your hands quickly, and try to grab water. But your hands are shaking. The water slips through. Now you're even more thirsty, even more panicked. But if you walk to the river calmly, lower your hands gently, and wait, the water settles. You drink deeply. You're satisfied. That is the Buddhist way, not to be weak, but to be wise. Let's go deeper. When we say be ready, we're not talking about sitting and doing nothing. Readiness is active. It's alert. It's watching with full presence. It's training your mind not to react blindly, but to respond with clarity. A warrior sharpens his sword every day, even when there is no battle. A farmer tends the soil even before the rain comes. A student studies not just for the test, but for the wisdom itself. This is preparation. This is true readiness. In the teachings of the Buddha, we find a word, sati, mindfulness. It means being awake in this very moment. Not just thinking about the future, not just worrying about the past, but showing up now completely. When you practice mindfulness, you prepare your mind to meet the moment as it is. Not as you wish it to be, but as it truly is. And this is where the desperation ends. Because when you live with mindfulness, you no longer panic about the future. You're no longer waiting for something outside to save you. You start to see, I don't need to chase the moment. I am a moment. You become your own source of calm, your own teacher, your own safe place. Now let's talk about fear. Desperation often comes from fear. What if I miss the chance? What if I'm too late? What if I'm not enough? But the Buddhist path teaches you to look directly at fear, not to run from it, not to fight it, but to see it. The Buddha said, fear is born of imagining loss. We fear because we think something will be taken from us, time, love, opportunities. But what if nothing is truly lost? What if every experience is simply a step toward awakening? When you stop fearing the loss, you stop being desperate to hold on. Readiness is the opposite of fear. It is quiet trust. It is knowing that even if things don't go your way today, they might open tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then someday. And even if they never come, you are still complete. Can you believe that? Many cannot, because the world teaches the opposite. It says, be first, be loud, be fast. But the Buddha whispers, be still. Stillness doesn't mean laziness. Stillness means depth. It means you are rooted like a tree. Winds may blow, storms may come, but you don't fall. In your daily life, begin to notice how often you move out of fear. Are you checking your phone desperately for a reply? Are you saying yes to things you don't want, just so you're not left out? Are you rushing to prove yourself, afraid to fall behind? These are signs of desperation. Now, gently turn your attention to something else. Your breath, your posture, your next small action. Can you fold your clothes with care? Can you listen fully when someone speaks? Can you eat your meal with presence? These tiny things prepare you. They may look small, but they train your mind for bigger moments. If you are calm in the little things, you will be ready for the big ones. And you won't need to be desperate. Readiness builds slowly, like brushing your teeth every morning. You do it again and again. No one claps for you, but over time, your health improves. In the same way, the small acts of mindful living create a quiet strength in you. So the next time you feel the urge to panic, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, am I acting from fear or from readiness? Choose readiness, not because it guarantees success, but because it guarantees peace. You will walk through life softer, wiser, more steady. You will stop begging the world to give you something. You will start preparing your soul to meet whatever comes with grace. And in that space, my dear one, you will be free. Not because everything outside has changed, but because you have. Let the world rush. Let the noise continue. You simply be ready. Desperation is noise. Readiness is silence. Child, come closer. Let me tell you something important today. Something people miss while chasing too much, thinking too loud, worrying too long. Desperation is like loud thunder in your mind. It makes so much noise, but it brings no rain. Readiness, on the other hand, is like the silent cloud, soft, calm, but full of power. It does not shout. It just waits, watches, and when the time is right, it moves. Let's walk slowly through this, step by step. You wake up in the morning. Your heart is already beating fast. So many things to do, so many things not done. Your phone is full of messages. Your thoughts are full of pressure. You feel behind. You feel like everyone is ahead of you. And somewhere in that rush, you become desperate. Desperate to prove. desperate to be seen, desperate to win, desperate to not be forgotten. This desperation creates noise, not outside but inside. And when the mind is noisy, nothing clear can be seen. Let me tell you something from the Buddha's path. He didn't become enlightened because he was in a hurry. He didn't sit under the Bodhi tree thinking, I must become awakened today. No, he sat in complete stillness. He said, I will sit here until truth shows itself. He was not desperate. He was ready. You see, child, readiness is a silent state. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing things from a quiet place. You can still take action, but without noise in your mind, without fear chasing your every step. Let me give you a picture. Imagine two archers. One is desperate to hit the target. His hands are shaking. His breath is uneven. He keeps rushing the shot. He keeps missing. The other archer? Calm, steady, watching the wind, feeling the bow. He breathes. He waits. Then he releases, and the arrow flies straight. The difference? One was desperate. One was ready. Desperation comes from fear. Fear that we will be left behind. Fear that we are not enough. Fear that if we don't do it all right now, we will fail. But child, life does not bloom from fear. No flower is afraid of not blooming fast enough. The sun does not rush to rise. The seasons change when the time is right, not when we demand it. So why do you treat your life like a fire drill? Zen teaches, when the water is still, you can see the moon clearly. But if you throw stones into the pond, the surface shakes. The moon disappears. Your mind is the water. Desperation is the stone. Readiness is the stillness. Many people ask me, Master, if I stop being desperate, won't I become lazy? No, child. Laziness is escape. Readiness is preparation. You can rest and still be ready. You can move slowly and still make progress. It is not speed that creates success. It is clarity. Let me share a story. Once a young man came to me. He wanted to become a monk. He said, I want peace. I want wisdom. I want to be free. But every day, he looked at others and said, they are more peaceful than me. I'm falling behind. He sat for meditation with a shaking heart. He judged himself. He forced himself. One day, I told him, go and sweep the floor. He said, but Master, I came here to learn truth, not clean the temple. I smiled and said, yes. And truth is in sweeping the floor too. But only if your mind is quiet. He did not understand. But slowly, day by day, as he swept, his thoughts slowed down. His heart softened. And one day, he came and said, I don't feel desperate anymore. I just feel present. I looked at him and said, now you are ready. When you're desperate, you lose patience. And when you lose patience, you make poor choices. But readiness gives you strength that people don't see. In today's world, people think the loudest one wins. But look closely. The strongest people are often the quietest. The ones who don't talk too much. The ones who don't post everything. The ones who prepare in silence. If your life feels loud, if your mind feels full of storm, stop trying to control everything. Go for a walk. Sit by a tree. Watch the wind. Feel your breath. That's not wasting time. That's preparing your mind. Buddha said, the trouble is, you think you have time. But that doesn't mean you rush. It means every moment matters. And if every moment matters, then you must show up with clarity, not chaos. So child, don't beg life to happen faster. Don't scream into the future. Don't chase after peace. Create space for it. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. And you will hear them only when the noise inside fades. Be like the mountain, still, strong, unmoved by the wind. Be like the moon, soft, shining, not trying to prove anything. Be like the soil, patient, humble, and always ready. Readiness is not something you do. It is something you become. So when the world tells you to hurry, pause. When your mind tells you you're not enough, breathe. When fear says you're falling behind, smile. You are not behind. You are preparing. And preparation is powerful. I do not say this to comfort you. I say this because it is the way of the wise. Desperation is noise. Readiness is silence. Choose silence, and you will hear the truth calling your name. Let go of clinging. Readiness through non-attachment. Sit down for a moment. Just sit. Don't try to become calm. Don't try to feel peaceful. Just sit. Let whatever is happening happen. Now, listen carefully. So many people want to be ready for life. They prepare their resumes, their bank accounts, their relationships. They prepare their social image, their daily schedule, their to-do lists. But still, they feel desperate. Still, something is missing. Why? Because they haven't let go. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about giving space. It's about not clinging tightly to what you want or how you think life should be. Desperation is born when we grab. Readiness is born when we release. In Buddhism, there's a word, upadana. It means clinging or attachment. This clinging is the fuel of our suffering. You want something, love, money, success. You think, if I don't get this, I'll break. And so, you panic. You force. You become desperate. But here's the Zen truth. Nothing belongs to you. Not even your thoughts. Not even your breath. You think your job is yours? It's borrowed. You think your partner is yours? They are free. You think your plans are fixed? They're just ideas. Life is constantly changing like water flowing. If you try to hold water tightly in your hands, what happens? It slips away. But if you open your palms, gently it rests there. This is non-attachment. Don't confuse non-attachment with not caring. That's a big misunderstanding. Non-attachment means you care deeply, but you don't grab. You act fully, but you don't cling to the result. You prepare your heart, but you don't demand guarantees. The more tightly you hold something, the more pain you invite. Let's say you want someone to love you. You start texting, calling, needing constant response. The other person feels pressure. Love becomes fear. Connection becomes control. But if you simply love, freely, without demanding, you give space for real love to grow. It's the same with success. If you're desperate to make it, you'll chase everything, trends, followers, shortcuts. You'll burn out. But if you build slowly, steadily from readiness, success comes quietly, without you begging for it. Buddha taught that desire in itself is not evil, but the attachment to desire that is suffering. Desperation is not caused by the goal. It's caused by your need to control the outcome. So how to let go? Start small. When a thought comes, I must do this or else. Notice it. Don't push it away, but don't obey it either. Just watch it. When someone hurts you, don't grip the anger. Say to yourself, this feeling is passing. I don't have to carry it. When a plan doesn't work, don't fight reality. Say, maybe this is not the right door. Let me wait for another. Letting go doesn't mean sitting still forever. It means acting without obsession, moving without rushing, giving your best, but allowing life to unfold. A Zen story tells of a man crossing a river on a raft. He builds the raft carefully. It saves his life. But when he reaches the other shore, does he carry the raft on his back? No, he leaves it. What helped you yesterday may not serve you today. That idea, that belief, that habit, maybe it was useful once, but maybe now it's holding you back. Let it go. True readiness is not stuffing yourself with plans. It's making space inside. So when life calls, you can answer clearly. There's a quiet power in people who are not desperate. They walk slower but stronger. They speak less but wiser. They show up, but they're not begging for things to go their way. They are open, ready, free. You don't have to fix everything now. You don't have to know all answers. You just have to breathe, observe, and trust the moment. Trust that when it's time, you will know what to do. This trust doesn't come from outside. Not from books, not from gurus, not even from me. It comes from watching your mind every day. It comes from seeing, I am grasping again. Let me soften. Try it now. Think of something you've been holding too tightly. A wish, a fear, a person. Now, imagine opening your hand and letting it rest there instead of squeezing it. This is the beginning of freedom. Don't be desperate for results. Just be ready to act with peace. That readiness will make you more powerful than any plan, any ambition, any push. Let life come to you, not because you're lazy, but because you've created space for it. You're not clinging. You're not chasing. You're simply ready, and that is enough. We'll keep walking together on this journey. The next step will take you even deeper. But for now, breathe and let go. Let go of clinging. Let go of the need to force. Let go of desperation. And slowly, the world will meet you in your silence. Not when you scream, but when you're still and free. Let's keep going. The middle way. Balanced action without panic. In a world full of rush and noise, people often think they must choose between two extremes, either doing nothing or doing everything. Some sit and wait for life to fix itself. Others run around, full of stress, trying to fix everything all at once. But in the path of the Buddha, there's another way, a quiet, wise middle way. The Zen Master began with a small story. A young man came to him and said, "Master, I am doing everything I can. I wake early, I work hard, I try to control every moment of my life. Still, nothing is going right. I feel tired, lost, and confused." The master smiled and replied gently, "You are walking on one leg, child. Of course, you feel unbalanced." Buddhism teaches that life becomes peaceful not by extreme effort, and not by complete laziness either, but by balance, a steady, calm walk between the two. This balance is what the Buddha called the middle way. It is not about being slow. It is not about being fast. It is about being right, right time, right energy, right mind. Desperation is not balance. Desperation is the fire that burns the heart. When someone becomes desperate, they lose the ability to think clearly. They try to force life like someone pulling a flower to make it grow faster. But just like the flower, life needs its season. If you rush it, you destroy it. The Zen Master would sit quietly for hours, not because he was lazy, but because he was ready. When the time came to act, he acted swiftly. But before that moment, he simply observed. He breathed. He listened. He prepared, not with panic, but with presence. Balance means knowing when to step forward and when to stay still. It means doing your part, without trying to control every part. In Buddhism, this is called samavayama, right effort. Not too much, not too little, just enough. A person who is balanced doesn't act from fear. They act from peace. They wake up early, not because they are afraid of losing, but because they are in harmony with the rhythm of the day. They speak kindly, not because they are afraid of conflict, but because they understand that harshness only creates more pain. In the modern world, people are taught that unless you are constantly doing something, you are failing. But look at nature. The sun rises slowly. The trees grow silently. The rivers flow without force. They are not desperate, yet they are always moving, always alive. That is the secret of balance, quiet motion. The Zen Master often said, "Balance is not found in the outer world. It is built inside." A person may look calm on the outside, but be a storm within. And some may appear still, yet carry great energy inside them. True balance starts with the mind. And the mind becomes balanced when it is free from craving. One day, a student asked, "Master, what if I feel I'm falling behind in life?" The master replied, "Behind who?" The student stayed quiet. The master continued, "If you are walking your own path, there is no one ahead and no one behind. There is only the step you are taking now." Desperation often comes from comparison. We look at others and feel we are missing something. But the middle way teaches us to focus on our journey, not theirs. When we follow our own steps with attention, we stop feeling desperate. We start feeling present. The middle way is not boring. It is the path of the wise. It teaches us to take rest when we are tired, to act when the time is right, and to trust the process of life. Just like a farmer cannot pull the crops to make them grow, we cannot rush results. But we can prepare the soil, water the seeds, and remove the weeds with calm, steady effort. Many people think peace means sitting still forever. That's not true. The Buddha never taught laziness. He taught readiness without tension, calmness without sleep, action without fear. This is the middle way. It brings peace and progress together. When a person walks in balance, they stop fearing the unknown. They stop forcing answers. They start flowing with life. And in that flow, they find deep strength. A strength that doesn't shout. A strength that doesn't panic. A strength that waits and watches, then acts at the perfect moment. In Zen tradition, the sword master does not swing wildly. He stands still, alert, centered. Then the right moment, he moves once, clean, clear, and complete. That is balance. That is readiness. The middle way is also about balance in the heart. Not too soft, not too hard. Not overly hopeful, not hopeless. A heart that sees the truth, but does not lose kindness. A heart that accepts life as it is, but still gives its best. When you stop being desperate, you start being useful. You stop wasting energy on fear and begin to use energy on what matters. Calm action, clear thought, gentle patience. Desperation is noise. Balance is music. You choose what to play. The Zen Master reminded his students daily, even when the world moves fast, you don't have to lose your stillness. Even when others panic, you can stay centered. Even when results are slow, you can keep preparing. This is power. This is the middle way. So if you feel like life is not working out, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, am I walking with balance? Or am I running with fear? You will know the answer inside. And once you return to balance, the next step will become clear. Always, keep walking. Not too fast. Not too slow. Just right. Keep breathing. Not in fear. Not in rush. Just fully. Keep acting. Not to control. Not to prove. But to live truly. The middle way is already inside you. You only need to remember it. Invisible strength, cultivating inner readiness daily. Sit down. Let the world be quiet for a while. Now listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. You do not need to run. You do not need to panic. You do not need to search for something outside yourself. Readiness is already within you, but you must grow it, water it, practice it every day. Let me tell you something. True strength is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't chase. It doesn't show off. Real strength is quiet, like the roots of a tree. Deep, steady, hidden, but powerful. When a storm comes, what stands tall? Not the tallest tree, but the one with the deepest roots. In life, people often prepare only for what is outside. Job, money, relationships, success. But they forget to prepare their mind, their heart. Then, when life shakes them, they fall quickly. A ready mind is like calm water. It reflects clearly. It doesn't get disturbed easily. But a desperate mind is like a stormy ocean, loud, messy, unclear. Buddhism teaches us, train the mind, the rest will follow. You see, you don't need to know what will happen tomorrow. You just need to be ready to meet it with calm, with courage, with clarity. How? Simple. Start by waking up without rushing. Before touching your phone, touch your breath. 1 deep breath. 2, 3. Let your body wake up gently. Let your mind return to the present. This is the beginning of readiness. Next, sit in stillness for 5 minutes. Even if your thoughts run wild, just sit. Let them pass like clouds. Don't fight them. Don't chase them. Watch them. You're not your thoughts. You're the one watching them. A ready mind sees the space between thoughts. A desperate mind gets lost inside them. Now when you eat, eat slowly. Feel the food. Chew it. Thank it. Do not scroll your screen. Do not talk. Just eat. Fully. With attention. With presence. This too is practice. The more you do small things with full presence, the more you train your mind to be steady. And a steady mind is ready for joy, for sorrow, for surprise, for loss, for love, for anything. Even walking can be a preparation. Walk slowly, with awareness. Listen to the sound of your feet. Feel the breeze on your skin. Do not hurry. Do not rush. Even if the world is rushing, you walk like a mountain, slow, strong, unmoved. People ask, how do I prepare for big moments? I say, prepare in small moments. Daily, quietly, silently. Because the big moments will always surprise you. But if your mind is trained, you will not panic. You will not react blindly. You will respond wisely. Let me tell you a short story. There was a farmer whose son broke his leg. The neighbors said, how unlucky. The farmer said, maybe. Later, soldiers came to take all the young men to war. But they left his son because of the broken leg. Now the neighbors said, how lucky. The farmer said again, maybe. This farmer was ready, not desperate to label things good or bad. He accepted each moment fully. This is strength, not in muscle but in mind. Now ask yourself, Are you ready to stop forcing life? Because when you stop pushing, you start seeing. When you stop rushing, you start feeling. When you stop fearing, you start understanding. To cultivate this inner readiness, you need 3 things. Daily stillness, even 5 minutes of sitting quietly with your breath. Mindful action, doing one thing at a time with full awareness. Letting go of outcome, acting without attachment to results. This is the invisible strength. People won't see it. They might even think you're slow, too calm, too quiet. But when life shakes, you will not fall. You will breathe. You will bow. You will smile. You will be ready. Do not worry about being perfect. Just practice. Every day like watering a seed. The seed does not shout, but one day it becomes a tree. And when the storm comes, you will not need to run. Because your roots will hold. Because your mind will be still. Because your heart will know you are ready. So, start today. Don't wait for a crisis to begin training your mind. Start with the cup of tea in your hand. Start with the walk from your bed to the door. Start with how you listen to others. Even how you look at the sky. These are your training grounds. These are your temples. This is how you build invisible strength. And when the world looks at you and says, "Why aren't you rushing?" you will smile gently and say, "Because I am ready." And that is more than enough. In this life, everything changes. Nothing stays the same for even a moment. This is the way of the world. The Buddha called this truth impermanence. Everything rises and falls, comes and goes. Just like the river flowing, the wind blowing, the leaves falling. Nothing you hold onto will last forever. When people feel desperate, it is often because they forget this truth. They want something fixed and certain. They want a moment to stay forever. They want their wishes to come true right now. But life is not like that. The more you try to force things, the more they slip away. Imagine a flower trying to bloom in winter. It pushes, it struggles, but the cold stops it. No matter how much the flower wants to bloom, it must wait for the right time. The warm sun, the soft rain. If it tries to bloom too soon, it will wither. The flower's readiness is in harmony with nature's time. So it is with your life. You cannot push the seasons. You cannot rush the path. You must understand the rhythm of life. This is the wisdom of impermanence. When you learn to live with this truth, you become calm. You become patient. You learn to trust the natural unfolding of things. This does not mean you should do nothing. Being ready is not the same as being passive. It means preparing your mind and heart while you wait. It means working quietly, steadily, without desperation or fear. Like the farmer who plants seeds and waters them with care, but does not demand that the crop grow overnight.
Your timing will come when the conditions are right. Just as the farmer cannot make the sun shine or the rain fall, you cannot make the world move faster. But you can prepare yourself fully. You can sharpen your mind. You can open your heart. You can walk your path with peace. Desperation is like a wildfire. It burns quickly and leaves destruction behind. Readiness is like a steady flame. It warms, it lights the way, it lasts. When you stop trying to control everything, you invite calm and wisdom into your life. Look closely at your own mind. When you feel desperate, what do you feel it? Is it a tightness in your chest? A restless stirring in your belly? When you notice these feelings, breathe deeply. Watch them like a quiet observer. Say to yourself, "This is impermanence. This too will change." The Buddha taught that suffering arises because we cling. We want things to be permanent, to be our way, to happen on our time. But clinging is like holding on to water. The tighter you hold, the more it slips through your fingers. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means understanding the nature of life. When you stop fighting the flow, you can move with it. This is true readiness. It is not desperation, but peaceful presence. It is not forcing the door open, but waiting for the right moment to enter. It is trusting that life is always unfolding as it should. Think of the great trees. They do not rush to grow tall. They stretch slowly, year by year. They weather storms and droughts, but their roots grow deep and steady. You're like that tree. Your roots must be strong before your branches can reach high. Impermanence teaches us to value the present moment. Each breath is new, each heartbeat fresh. When you are desperate, you lose this moment. You chase the future or fear the past. But readiness brings you back. It brings you home to now. This present moment is where your power lies. It is the only moment you truly have. If you use it wisely, you prepare yourself for whatever comes next. If you waste it in worry or haste, you weaken your ability to face the future. The Zen Master once said, "Do not seek the perfect moment. Take this moment and make it perfect." When you learn this, you no longer try to force timing. You work with what is. You respond to life as it flows. In your journey, you will face delays, obstacles, and detours. These are not punishments or failures. They are part of impermanence. They teach patience and resilience. They deepen your readiness. Remember, the river does not hurry, yet it reaches the sea. The bird does not rush its flight, yet it finds its nest. You too will arrive at your destination, not by force, but by gentle persistence. When you feel the urge to push, to demand, to control, remind yourself, this is impermanence. This moment will pass. Let me be ready for what comes, with a calm mind and open heart. There's great freedom in accepting impermanence. There's great strength in being ready rather than desperate. The Buddhist path is one of peace and wisdom. Follow it gently, step by step. Life will unfold as it must. Your readiness will prepare you for every turn. Trust this. Walk with patience. Breathe with awareness. Live with presence. This is the way of the Zen Master, not to force the river, but to become one with its flow. Karma and readiness. Acting without desperate expectation. Come closer. Let me tell you something that most people forget in their rush to succeed. They think, if I want something badly enough and work hard, I must get it. But life doesn't always work like that, does it? Sometimes you give everything and still nothing happens. Other times, things come to you when you least expect them. Why? Because desire and effort are only part of the story. The deeper truth is this. Karma moves quietly. It works in its own time, not yours. And if you want peace, you must stop acting with desperate expectations. Instead, you must act with calm readiness. In Buddhism, karma means action, not just physical action, but mental and emotional actions too. Every thought, every intention, every choice is a seed. You plant it today, and it grows over time. Some seeds bloom quickly. Some take years. Some never bloom because they were never strong enough to begin with. The problem is, people don't trust this process. They want instant results. They pray today and expect a miracle tomorrow. They study one night and want success the next morning. They speak kindly once and wait for the world to praise them. This is not readiness. This is impatience dressed up as effort. The Zen path teaches us to act with full presence, but to release the outcome. You do what is right, not because it guarantees success, but because it is right. That's all. Like the farmer, he waters the soil, prepares the land, and plants the seed. But does he scream at the sky to make it rain? Does he beg the seed to hurry up? No, he waits. He trusts the rhythm of nature. The same way, you must trust the rhythm of life. Do your work. Be kind. Be patient. The results will come when the time is right. Many people ask, but what if I've done everything right and still nothing is working? That's when your faith in karma is being tested. Karma is not a vending machine. You don't press a button and get your reward. Karma is more like a garden. It takes time, care, and silence. Even your waiting becomes part of the karma. And often, it's not that nothing is working. It's just that things are working underground, where you can't yet see them. Let me tell you a short story. There's a man who practiced kindness every day. He helped others, spoke gently, and gave to the poor. But his life was still full of problems. One day, in anger, he shouted to the sky, "Why is my karma not working? I've done everything right." An old monk nearby heard him and smiled. He said, "Your karma is working. You just want to look like a gift box." But sometimes, karma comes as a lesson, a delay, a redirection. What you call problem might be protection. This is the secret of readiness. You don't wait with a hungry heart. You wait with a quiet heart. You don't say, "I deserve this now." You say, Let it come when it must. Readiness is not laziness. It's not about doing nothing. No, it's about doing everything with the right state of mind. Imagine you're cooking a meal. You follow the recipe, you stir the pot, you light the fire. Now, you must let it simmer. If you open the lid again and again in fear, you ruin the dish. Readiness means you trust the process once you've done your part. Most people ruin their own growth by checking the mirror too often. They wonder, am I changing? Is this working? Will it happen? All of this is noise. Let your efforts settle like tea leaves in water, slowly, gently, naturally. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is no pushy energy. There is no shouting at life. There's only deep seeing, deep doing, and deep letting go. The Buddha once said, whatever a person frequently thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of their mind. If you constantly think about results, your mind becomes restless. But if you focus on the quality of your actions, your mind becomes still. And in stillness, wisdom comes. Here is a little Zen reminder for your journey. When the archer shoots with no prize in mind, he has all his skill. But when he shoots to win, he sees two targets. That means desperation creates confusion. Readiness brings focus. So, the next time you work hard, don't ask, when will I get what I want? Instead, ask, have I acted with presence and purity? If yes, then rest. Breathe. Smile. Your karma is already moving. You don't need to chase what is already yours in the unseen. You only need to be ready when it arrives. When we sit in meditation, we don't demand peace. We sit quietly, and peace comes on its own. That is a mirror of life itself. You don't get love by begging for it. You don't find wisdom by forcing it. You don't succeed by screaming for it. You receive these things by preparing your mind and life to hold them well when they arrive. Be like the mountain, silent, steady, rooted. Let the world move around you. Let karma unfold in its time. Act well. Think clearly. Let go gently. That is the way of true readiness. And in that way, you will never be desperate again. You will not panic when things delay. You will not cry when life slows down. Because you'll know the flower doesn't bloom all year, yet it is always growing. And so are you. Meditation as mental preparation, not escape. Sit down. Yes, just sit. Take a slow breath. Don't force it. Let it come, let it go. Now listen carefully. Many people think meditation is a way to escape problems. But it is not. It is a way to prepare the mind. You don't close your eyes to run away. You close your eyes to look deeper. When life is too loud, most people try to silence the world. But the Zen way is different. We silence ourselves first, and then the world becomes quiet on its own. Meditation is not hiding. It is sharpening, like a sword that sits quietly in its sheath, but is always ready. Stillness does not mean weakness. It means strength without noise. Think of a mountain. Even when there's wind, storm, snow, the mountain does not run. It does not complain. It remains grounded. Why? Because it does not live in fear. It knows how to just be. Meditation teaches us to be like that mountain. Calm, strong, ready. Some people say, I have no time to sit and breathe. But look closely, they waste so much time worrying, reacting, running. That is not strength. That is desperation wearing shoes. The Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, not to forget the world, but to understand it. He did not chase after peace. He sat still and watched peace rise from inside. This is the power of meditation. Meditation is not a special thing. It is not magic. It is a simple practice. You sit, breathe, watch, and let go. That's it. But it changes everything. Let me give you a small story. A student came to a Zen master and said, Master, I'm too busy. I don't have time to meditate. The master smiled and said, Then you must meditate twice as long. The student was confused. Why? The master replied, Because the busier your life is, the more quiet your mind must be. This is the truth. When your mind is ready, your life becomes lighter. Meditation trains you not to react immediately. It gives you a gap, a breath between what happens and how you respond. Most people live like firecrackers. One spark and they explode. But a trained mind is like water. Even fire cannot harm it. When you sit every day and watch your breath, you're learning to respond with clarity, not from habit, not from panic, but from peace. You don't need to be in the Himalayas. You don't need to chant all day. You just need a quiet corner, maybe 10 minutes. Just sit, close your eyes, feel your breath. Don't chase thoughts. Don't fight them either. Let them come. Let them go. You will notice something strange. At first, the thoughts will rush like wild horses. You will feel restless. You want to stand up. That's okay. Don't judge it. Just stay. Gently return to the breath. One day, those horses will slow down. Then they will start walking. And finally, one day, they will sit beside you. That is when you will know your mind is becoming your friend, not your master. Meditation makes your mind your companion. And that is a very powerful thing. Meditation is not for escaping emotions. It is for meeting them. When you sit quietly, you meet anger, fear, loneliness. But you don't have to fight them. You just bow to them. And slowly they pass. Desperation is like a fast-moving river. It makes you feel like you're drowning. But readiness is like sitting on the bank, watching the river flow. You're not lost in it. You are aware of it. That's what meditation gives you. That space of stillness where you no longer react blindly. Every breath is a chance to come back home. You don't need special clothes. You don't need incense. You only need sincerity and consistency. Even 5 minutes of true sitting is better than 1 hour of restless wandering. If your mind runs, smile. Bring it back. Again and again. That's the training. That's the preparation. A warrior does not wait for the battle to begin training. He sharpens his sword every day. In the same way, you don't wait for life to break you before you learn calmness. You practice it now, quietly, daily, with love. Meditation makes your awareness sharp. You start noticing small things. The sound of leaves, the way someone looks at you, your own feelings before they explode. This is the gift of a ready mind. It sees. And when the storm comes, because it will, you will not panic. You will breathe. You will respond. You will act, not react. That is not escape. That is mastery. Do not say, meditation is not for me. That is like a thirsty man saying, water is not for me. It is not about doing it right. It is about doing it regularly. You sit. You breathe. You return. This is how readiness is born. Meditation is not to make life perfect. It is to prepare your mind for the imperfection of life. With practice, even chaos becomes a teaching. Even pain becomes a bell. When life becomes too heavy, don't carry more. Seat, breathe, release, let go. You don't need to run. You don't need to scream. You don't need to chase. You just need to be present. Stillness is not doing nothing. It is doing the most important thing, observing. So sit again, breathe again, begin again. This is the way. This is the practice. This is the power. Let the world rush. Let your breath guide you. You're not late. You're just becoming ready. And that is enough. Compassion over control, preparing with heart, not fear. Sit quietly for a moment. Breathe in slowly and breathe out gently. Now ask yourself this. Why are we always trying to control everything around us? Why do we feel so afraid when things don't go the way we want? The answer is simple. We are desperate. And desperation is born from fear. But you didn't come here to live in fear, did you? You came here to learn to live with peace, with clarity, with freedom. You came to this path to understand how to walk with steady feet, even when the road is uncertain. So today, let me teach you something the world rarely tells you. Readiness does not come from control. True readiness comes from compassion. Let me explain. Imagine a gardener planting seeds. He does not shout at the soil. He does not panic when it rains too much or too little. He watches. He tends. He loves the process. That's compassion, quiet care, not loud control. When you prepare your life from a place of love and patience, everything grows better, even you. But most people prepare from fear. They plan not because they trust life, but because they are scared of what will happen if they don't. So their preparation is filled with stress, tension, and exhaustion. That's not true preparation. That's a war inside the heart. And no one wins that war. Not your body, not your mind, not your soul. Buddha never taught us to control life. He taught us to understand it. He never said, "You must make everything perfect." He said, "You must wake up. And to wake up, you must see clearly, not through fear, but through love." Let me share a story. Once, a young monk came to me in great worry. He said, "Master, I am afraid. What if I fail? What if I never become enlightened? What if I waste my life?" I smiled gently and asked him, "Why are you speaking to me with your fear instead of your heart?" He didn't understand. So I said, "When your heart is full of love for the path, there is no space for fear. Then you're not desperate to reach the end. You're simply ready to walk. That is the way." So, when you prepare for anything in life, an exam, a job, a relationship, even death, do it from compassion. Prepare because you care, not because you're terrified. When you cook, cook with love, not with pressure. When you study, study with curiosity, not with fear. When you work, work with presence, not with panic. This is the art of preparation in Zen. Now, many people ask me, "Master, what if I don't feel compassionate? What if fear is all I know?" I say, start small. Begin by breathing gently when things go wrong. Don't scold yourself. Be kind to your thoughts. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a child who is learning to walk, with patience. That is compassion. Then begin seeing the world the same way. Don't try to fix people. Just understand them. Don't try to force events. Just flow with them. Let life be a river, and let your preparation be like placing stones gently in the stream, not building a dam. Control is loud. Compassion is quiet. Control is hard. Compassion is soft. Control breaks. Compassion heals. Which one do you want to carry inside you? Let's also remember this. Control is rooted in the fear that something will go wrong. But compassion is rooted in the understanding that even when things go wrong, you will still have love in your heart. And with love, you can begin again. You can adjust. You can learn. You can rise. The Buddha once said, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love." This is the eternal rule. In the same way, fear does not leave by force. It leaves when met with gentle attention. Your readiness becomes strong not by controlling every outcome, but by showing up fully with care in every moment. So, if you're waiting for the right moment, don't wait in panic. Wait with openness. And when that moment comes, don't act with force. Act with clarity, with kindness, with heart. This is what it means to be truly ready. Not ready to win or succeed or impress, but ready to meet whatever comes with compassion. And now I ask you, what are you preparing for right now? Is it something big, something unknown, something scary? Whatever it is, I ask you, don't prepare with control. Don't rush. Don't tighten. Don't overthink. Just breathe. Just soften. Just open. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be present and kind to what is here. When the heart is calm, the mind becomes clear. And when the mind is clear, the path appears. You don't need to light up the whole forest to walk through it. Just hold one candle of compassion. That light will be enough. So the next time fear knocks at your door, do not open it with panic. Open it with understanding. Offer it tea. Listen to it. And then let it go as softly as it came. Compassion is not weakness. It is quiet strength. And when you prepare from that place, you don't just prepare for life. You prepare for peace. Stay with this teaching. Let's settle. The world may rush, but you do not have to. Be slow. Be soft. Be still. And above all, be ready, not desperate. Because readiness, with a compassionate heart, is the most powerful thing you can ever carry into this world. From reaction to response, wisdom in waiting. Listen closely, dear one. You are not here to panic. You are not here to react to every sound, every word, every push that life throws at you. You are here to respond. Calmly, clearly, consciously. A reaction is fast. It comes from fear, from the pain you carry, from the past you haven't looked at. But a response? That comes from silence, from wisdom, from readiness. The river does not panic when a stone is thrown into it. It ripples, then becomes still again. You, too, can be like the river. Long ago, in the time of the Buddha, a man came to him full of anger. He shouted, insulted, and cursed the Buddha. But the Buddha sat, silent and still. When a man finally stopped, breathing heavily, the Buddha asked, "If someone offers you a gift, and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man, confused, said, "To the one who offered it." "Exactly," said the Buddha. "I do not accept your anger." That is response, not reaction. Most people live like dry leaves in the wind. Every small breeze moves them. Someone ignores them, and they feel worthless. Someone praises them, and they feel powerful. But both reactions are forms of control. You are letting others decide your inner state. A Zen master doesn't do that. A Zen master breathes, watches, waits, then acts, only when is right. Think of this. A mother hears her baby cry. She doesn't scream back at the baby. She listens. She checks. Maybe the baby is hungry. Maybe it needs comfort. Her response is love, not noise. That is what life needs from you too. Many people confuse action with strength. They think, I must say something. I must do something now. But sometimes strength is silence. Sometimes the strongest choice is to wait. When you act out of anger, fear, or insecurity, it is not your truth that speaks. It is your pain. And pain always speaks in confusion. Take the example of storm. The wind rushes, the trees bend, the sky roars. But beneath the surface of the ocean, everything remains still. That's how your mind can be. People will push you. Life will test you. But you do not need to react like everyone else. That is not your path. Buddhism teaches us about mindfulness, to pause before reacting. A mindful person sees what is happening inside, just as clearly as outside. They feel anger rising, but they watch it. They feel fear coming, but they breathe with it. They respond only after understanding the full truth. The Buddha said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame. That is who you must become. Response is not weakness. It is control. It is discipline. When you respond, you choose. When you react, your past chooses for you. Every time you respond instead of reacting, you are rewriting your story. You might ask, but Zen Master, how do I stop reacting? It happens so fast. Yes, it does. But you can slow it down. With practice. Start with your breath. When someone says something that hurts, don't speak. Just breathe. Let one full breath move through your body before you answer. Let it wash the dirt of panic from your heart. This single breath has saved many lives, many relationships, and many moments from being ruined. The next practice, observe before judging. Not everything you see is as it seems. Someone cuts you in traffic. You get angry. You think they're selfish. But maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Maybe they just lost someone. Maybe they're just like you, confused, tired, struggling. If you respond with anger, you add more fire to a world already burning. But if you respond with patience, you add peace. One day, a student came to a Zen temple. He was upset. My friend betrayed me. I will never forgive him, he cried. The master poured tea into his cup. It was full, but he kept pouring. The student shouted, stop. It's already full. The master smiled. Yes, like your mind, full of reaction, no room for understanding. The student bowed his head. That day he began to empty his cup. So, you must empty your mind from the quick thoughts, the sharp emotions, the stories you keep repeating. Make space. Because response needs room. A calm mind is a clear mind. In Buddhism, we talk about the gap, the small space between what happens and what you do next. That gap is your power. In that gap, you can choose wisdom over impulse. Train yourself to live in that space. Sometimes, not answering is the answer. Sometimes, walking away is a greater act than staying to fight. Sometimes, a smile in the middle of chaos is the strongest rebellion. This is how a Zen master lives. Not by reacting fast, but by responding slowly, clearly, wisely. Now, let me ask you, do you want to be like fire, wild, uncontrolled, dangerous? Or do you want to be like a mountain, steady, peaceful, unshakable? Every reaction is a chance to choose the mountain. Every breath is an invitation to be free. Life will always bring problems. that you cannot stop, but how you deal with them. That is your freedom. So today, begin again. Start by noticing. The next time you feel hurt, angry, confused, pause. Even for just 2 seconds. Let that space grow. Because in that space, you will meet your highest self. This is how you stop being desperate. This is how you prepare for anything. You don't scream. You don't run. You don't react. You sit. You breathe. You respond. And life listens. True readiness is surrender. The power of letting life unfold. Let me tell you something very gently today. Something many forget. You are not here to control everything. You are here to live, to breathe, to walk gently, and to let life unfold as it must. Throughout this series, I have shown you how desperation causes suffering and how readiness brings peace. But now, I want to show you something even deeper. True readiness is not about preparing endlessly. It is not about waiting with tension. It is not about sitting with fear, thinking something will go wrong. True readiness is surrender. Yes, surrender. Not giving up, not becoming lazy, but surrendering to the flow of life, knowing that you have done your part. And now, you let the universe move. Imagine you're planting a seed. You give it water. You give it sunlight. You give it the right soil. But then, what if you scream at the seed every day, grow now? Why aren't you growing? It must happen today. The seed will not listen. It cannot hear your fear. It grows in silence. It grows in patience. It grows when it is ready. And so must you. Many people confuse surrender with failure. But surrender is actually strength. It means you have done what you can. You have acted with wisdom. Now you're willing to let the wind carry what it must. This is the final form of readiness, when you no longer chase outcomes, but you trust the process. In Buddhism, this is closely linked to the idea of anatta, no self. The more you try to control everything for your ego, the more you suffer. The more you let go of the I that wants and needs and grabs, the freer you become. Let me give you a small story. A young monk once asked an old master, "Master, when will I find peace?" The master replied, "When you stop asking for it, when you stop grasping at it, when you start seeing that peace was never gone, you just weren't quiet enough to notice it." That young monk thought deeply about this. He stopped meditating to get something. He started meditating to be with what is. And that's when things began to shift. You see, the world doesn't need your desperation. The world needs your clarity. It needs your soft eyes, your deep breath, your ability to stand still when everything around you is running fast. Surrender doesn't mean you stop showing up. It means you stop forcing things. You still wake up. You still take care of your body. You still walk your path. But now, you're not obsessed with controlling the result. Buddha never said, "Make everything happen." He said, "Do your duty and let go." That is called karma yoga, action without attachment to result. And do you know what happens when you do that? You become light. You become peaceful. You become available to the moment. You start to notice small things, the way the wind touches your skin, the sound of birds you never heard before, the way water tastes when you drink it slowly. You start to feel alive again. Not rushed, not chasing, but present. Readiness is being fully present. Surrender is not weakness. It's the final proof that you understand how life works. No tree grows overnight. No mountain was formed in a day. Even the moon doesn't rush to shine. It takes its time to become full. And so must you. The people who struggle the most are not the people who lack resources. They're the people who resist life, who try to bend it, control it, push it, shape it in their mind. But life isn't a machine. It's a river, and you don't swim against a river. You float with it. You guide your direction gently. You trust the current. You trust the ocean is waiting. So, now, after all we've learned, let me tell you this with love and care. Don't be desperate. Don't panic. Don't scream at the sky. Just be ready. Be soft. Be still inside. And when the moment comes, you will know what to do. You won't have to guess. You won't have to overthink. Because all that time, you were preparing, not with noise, but with silence. Not with force, but with peace. True surrender is quiet power, is the smile that says, "I have done my part. Now I let life do hers." So if you're listening to this right now, and you're wondering when your time will come, let me tell you it will. But you don't get to control the when. You only get to master the how. And the how is simple. Show up with calm. Act with love. Wait with trust. That is the final teaching. That is the way of the wise. This whole series, from the first part to this last one, has been a journey of shifting your mind. From fear to clarity. From tension to balance. From desperation to readiness. I'm grateful you walked this path with me. Let this last message stay in your heart. You don't need to force life. You only need to be ready and let life come to you. And before you go, there's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If this message helped you even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us bring more peace into more lives. Until next time, breathe, be still, and trust. This is your Zen Master, bowing gently, letting go.